Hi lovelies, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a collective reading. I just feel like I want to do a collective energy reading and just see what spirit kind of want us to know right now. Yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please do hit a lovely thumbs up and let's get into the reading. This is a theme that spirit have really been bringing through, like whether it be like private readings that I've been doing or just general conversations that I've been having. There's a real want from spirit to get people back to have it, like being able to have fun. There's this feeling of stiffness that we've gotten into as a collective and into as a world, like where we're so, I think after like the pandemic and the crises that are going on, which truly are, and I want to be sensitive about this, that they really are a way to keep us, to try and keep us, the people, in a very rigid and regimented way of being. If we are scared and in a state of fear, then we become tense, stressed in our bodies and in our lives. And whilst it's very, very difficult to not be distracted, and by the way, this is coming through for me from spirit now, while it's very, very difficult to not be distracted by what is going on outside of you and to not be consumed by it and to not be scared by it, we must try, because these messages and the information that is coming in is not for our greater well-being. There's just this real fear that spirit just wants us to get very unstuck. Like they're just making me feel like I need to move, like I need to break out. We're being put into boxes. They're trying to put us into boxes, trying to keep the energy very fixated, because like I said, when you are in fear, when you are stressed, when you are scared, you close yourself off, you become very small, and there's no room for growth or for change when you're keeping small. So there's this the word that like spirit is just giving me like so bigly and boldly is fun. There's this want for spirit for us to start having fun again in our lives. What can you do to move back into the energy of fun? And it doesn't have to cost money. The reason being is when we're in a state of fun and when we're doing something and we're doing it just for fun, not to make money, not to please anybody else, not for anyone else's acceptance, just for literally pure fun, we are free. We are in an energy of freedom, and like energy attracts like energy, and so we want to be embracing and embodying an energy of what we want to attract. And if we all are individually doing that, that adds up as a collective. If we are all rigid and stuck and scared and in fear, then that also adds up as a collective. So there's this thing coming through from spirit of like, you choose, like you're more powerful than you think. The thing is that we get put in this bubble of like you're all going to be doing this and this is how everyone's going to be impacted, and we start to lose our individual power, not realizing that if we just take like responsibility and accountability for our own individual happiness, joy and love, then that like rains out, and collectively that adds up, because if we're each doing that, then it adds up. We can get caught in this trap of being like, okay, well, it's just me, like what is what is me being happy going to do, or what is me being empowered going to do? It's not going to make a difference. But actually, if we're all taking responsibility for ourselves, for our own well-being, for our own accountability, it adds up as a collective. We are more powerful than they would have us believe. Okay, we are powerful beings. So there's this real want for spirit to get us to embrace and embody fun energy, trying to have fun again, whether that be dancing in your kitchen, whether that be singing at the top of your lungs in your home, whether that be going to your local park and playing on the swings, embodying that childlike energy, just having fun, because when we are having fun, we are free. And that's where we're really wanting to get to, is this state of freedom. And they're just giving me the Bob Marley quote, which is emancipate yourself from mental slavery. No one but yourself can free your mind. And that is facts. They are trying to mentally enslave the collective. Sorry to get deep, but I feel like we're in such deep waters at the moment that there's no choice but to get deep. So I have my cards here anyway. I always start any reading with the energy because I am an energy intuitive reader before I am a card reader. If you would like your own personal and private reading with me, I do have them available over on my website. At the moment, I type all my readings up, and I do like to do it that way. Going forward, I will be adding audio and video, hopefully, to the website. I'm just figuring out how to do that at the moment. So let's start with tarot, and then we'll move over to the oracle card, Spirit. So please show me through tarot what, as a collective, you'd like us to know. They just keep talking to me about individual importance and it not being selfish to think of yourself. Like, when you look after yourself, then you can go on to look after others. But if you're pouring from an empty cup, I know that's a really overused and like drained out phrase now, like don't pour from an empty cup, but it's so true. Like, it's so true. If you're running tired, if you are energetically low, if you're feeling drained, resentful, angry, in fear, it's very difficult to show up in the world as light or to be able to give to others. So look after yourself first, check in with yourself. We're taught really not to do that. Woo! We're taught really not to do that. I'm going to pick just one card from each pile actually, because there's also this thing from Spirit of like just keeping it simple and not trying to overcomplicate things. Yeah, keep it simple, try not to overcomplicate things. What do you need right now? Like, how often do we check in with ourselves and really ask ourselves, what do I need right now? And I really feel like Spirit wants to encourage you to just sit with yourself now, and I want you to do it. I want you to do it. Like, there's no point in me just saying it. What do you need? Do you need a good, healthy, wholesome meal? Do you need a good conversation with someone? Do you need 5 minutes of peace and quiet? What do you need to feel better right now? It's not selfish to do that. And if you are thinking it's selfish, then just remember that how you feel impacts everybody else, because that's how you go out to the world. That's how you show up to other people. You want to be showing up as light and as love, because that's what feels good, and you deserve to feel good, and how you feel does affect the collective. You are a part of the collective. I'm a part of the collective. And so we want to be showing up as our loving piece of the puzzle and not the latter. The card that came over from the tarot deck is the Wheel of Fortune. So this is about things moving constantly in flow, right? Spirit have talked a lot over the past, like if you've watched a lot of my videos, if you followed me, about a lot about being in this dark space, this dark energy. It's time to start moving into light, okay? And I talked about this in my last video about being a light worker, but it's true. Like, we need balance, we need struggle to appreciate good times. We need a certain element of struggle to be able to appreciate when things are really, really good, and we need really, really good times to know, like, oh, this doesn't feel good. Like, we need that balance. We need the duality to be able to kind of understand ourselves and to appreciate our lives. And there's just this real feeling with the Wheel of Fortune that it's time for change. It's time for change. And you know, if you look at the card, it represents all the seasons. So we've got summer, you've got autumn here, spring, winter at the bottom. So it represents all the seasons of life. I talk a lot about seasons, and I might do a video of like what the seasons of our life look like, because we are more embedded and embodied in nature and more connected to nature than you would believe. We all have seasons and we go through them repeatedly: summer, autumn, winter, spring. And we need that. Like, we need moments of rest. We need moments when we're outgoing. We need moments when we're reflective. We need those seasons. And Spirit is asking us to remember that. To remember that life is ever changing. And even though the situation can seem really dark and dim right now, it doesn't have to stay there. It doesn't have to stay there. And also from Spirit, they're saying you don't have to wait for someone to come along and save you either. Just gonna have a sip of my tea. Look, you don't have to worry about the collective if that's not something you're worried about. But if it is, and you feel like it's selfish, or that doing something for yourself isn't going to make a difference, or making a small change in your own life isn't going to make a difference, I'm here to tell you that it absolutely does. Spirit is talking to me about the butterfly effect. There's a film called The Butterfly Effect, and it talks about, well, it's about like different decisions that are made and how they ripple out into the world, and we all affect each other. And so no, it can't always be the case that we're happy and everything's amazing, everything's perfect. But we do have power to inflict, as much as we're being told that we don't, we really do have power to change our own individual lives. And that is powerful, because if everyone is doing that, it does add up, and it's time for change. It's time for change. And no, we can't control always the bigger outer changes, but how can we change our own lives? Like, what may need to be changed in our own lives? How can we start to turn the wheel in our own lives? And that can start by focusing on what you need right now and helping to make yourself feel better. So often we don't look after ourselves, and we get distracted by the outside world and circumstances and what's going on in the news and all these things. And that's fine. Like, it's fine to be aware, but also come back to yourself and be aware of yourself. Like, don't neglect or disregard yourself, because you've got to carry yourself through this life, you know. You've got to carry yourself through this life. So the next deck, where should I go? Okay, I'm gonna go to the Surrender deck. So this is actually one of my favorite decks, and it helps us to see like what may be standing in our way. And this is a collective reading, so what I will say is take from it what resonates, leave what doesn't. Please do let me know if anything does resonate with you down below. And I'd also love for you to comment what you need right now. You know, take accountability for your well-being. What do you need right now, and how can you take action on it? My camera cut off, so I won't pretend that I know what I was saying now, unfortunately, because I can't. Okay, so I'm going to pull from the Surrender deck. So Spirit, what as a collective do we need to maybe look at letting go of? What may be blocking us? What may be stopping us from moving forward? Please show us. I mean, I always act surprised, but should I be surrender to joy? This is exactly what Spirit talked about at the very beginning of this reading. Like, the past 3 years have been so dense and so, I feel like, emotional even talking about it. They've been so like, there's been almost like no room for fun. Like, there's been no room for relaxing. When I say fun, it can be so easy just to like overlook that, but the thing behind the fun is the ability to relax, the ability to feel free, the ability to let loose. Energy, when it's stagnant and stuck, it just stays stuck, and that's what fear and being in a state of panic and stress and tension does. It just folds up. But when we're able to go into the energy of joy, when we're able to meet our needs, when we're able to feel free and to have fun, we're going with the flow, and we're allowing new energy to come in. Like the Wheel of Fortune, we're allowing that wheel to turn. But when we become tense and stuck, we block change, we block energy flowing. And that's why it's so important to surrender to joy, surrender to fun, allow ourselves to let go a little, even if we're being told that we shouldn't, even if we're being told that we need to be hustling and grinding, even if we're being told this. Forget what you're being told and what's being projected on the outside. What do you need? What are you telling you? This is why it's so important, because only you really know what's right for you, and we need to come back to being able to learn and to listen and to trust ourselves. So this card says, a key to positive change in your life is to let joy in and savor it. Indulge in random acts of smiling during both the hard and easy times. That's it. This is not an easy time we're going through. In this world right now is a very difficult time. Probably in my lifetime, probably one of the most difficult as a collective that we are going through. But we must still remember that just because we are predominantly in what feels like a darker space, it doesn't mean that there isn't light. During both the hard and easy times, keep surrendering to more joy. The joy, the fun, it's still there. It may feel like it's gone, but it hasn't. And behind joy is, like I said, relaxation, peace. And that energy allows us to flow, it allows us to be in a state of love, and what that does is allow us to bring in new energy and to evolve. We want to be able to still evolve, we want to be able to still move forward, we want to be able to still feel good, because that is what keeps everything going in a beautiful way, rather than feeling tight and stuck and stagnant. can be very easy to feed into that energy. I'm not saying that it isn't, but where we can, we need to start checking in with ourselves and focusing on joy where we can. The next deck I'm going to pull from is the Simple Answers deck. And this kind of will tell us, again, similar to the Surrender deck, but what we need more of in our lives. Like, what can we focus on as a collective? I feel like the real kind of message coming through from Spirit right now is to look at your own life and, you know, as hard as it can be, to not get distracted by everything else. If you can look after yourself and check in with yourself, finding your own joy, focusing on your own love, then that can be real beneficial to someone else. It can show someone else that they can do it too. It can give someone else permission to do that as well. It can also allow you to show up for other people in a better way than you can if you're feeling stuck in fear or stagnant. So again, I really do encourage you. That's what I was saying before the camera died. Let me know down below what you need right now. You know, you may not want to share it, that's fine. Like, for me, if I was to really check in with myself right now, what do I need? I probably need to get out of my own way and believe in myself a little bit more. You know, self-sabotage is a really big thing, and that's also something I would love to discuss and talk about on this channel. But yeah, that's probably what I need. I need to let myself live, because I'm definitely uptight and have been uptight. You know, it's very easy as an empath to feed into the darkness, even as a light worker. We're not perfect. So the card that's come out of the Simple Answers deck is Start Anew. Similar to the Wheel of Fortune, change is on the horizon, and I'm really drawn to the butterfly here. Like, there's this message with that of, like, Spirit is saying, just let yourself fly. Stop. It's funny because I was just saying that. Stop holding ourselves back. We hold ourselves back so much for so many reasons, like so many limiting beliefs, so many conditions that we've built up over our whole lives, and it's time for us to start working through that so we can let ourselves fly and start fresh, not just in our own lives but as a collective. It's time for the energy to shift. And in order for the energy to shift, we need to start shifting the energy in our own life. So even if it's the smallest thing and you want to start, I don't know, taking 5 minutes a day to meditate, or like I said, if you want to sing and dance in your kitchen, find the joy where you can, because that is really beneficial for yourself and for us as a collective. And it's going to help us move. You know, look at the butterfly, it's flying, you know, out into the sun. Like, it's for us to move into that light now. This is really what, if you've clicked this video, you are a spiritual being. You are most likely a light worker. You are someone who wants to heal. You are someone who wants to heal yourself. Probably someone who wants to see the world be better. You want to help. And I feel like everything that Spirit have mentioned up until this point is going to help us do that. This is really about coming back into light, back into balance, back into a better place for everyone and for all. I know it's very, very easy to feel disheartened, but there's this real thing coming through with Spirit, like, please don't give up. Like, don't give up, don't feel disheartened. It's okay to rest, it's okay to stop, it's okay to reflect, but please still invest in your happiness, invest in your joy, and there is still hope. Like, hope and faith and belief are everything. So the final kind of message I'm going to pull from the Spirit Junkie deck. So what's the final message you'd like to leave the collective with today, Spirit? Again, they're just talking about finding the fun in your life, finding the joy in your life, even if it can seem like you can. Again, there's this thing like, you know, life isn't just black and white. There are grey areas, and there can be darkness and there can be hard times, and you can still find the light. You don't have to dwell entirely in the dark. You can be like, okay, this isn't good. This isn't a great situation, but I'm still going to find joy. Because you want to feel good. Why would we want to be feeling bad? Like, we want to feel good. So the situation can be bad, but we can choose how we react to it. So Spirit, what is the final outcome that you'd like the collective to know at this time? Again, you're more powerful than you know. Keep focusing on the joy, keep focusing on the fun, keep focusing on the goodness. Allow yourself to raise your own vibration, and in turn you will raise, and I'm channeling now just so you know, in turn you will raise the vibration of the planet. It is not selfish to look after yourself. By looking after yourself, you can look after others, and love is the way forward, okay? And even if you do find yourself in the darkness or going down that path, remember, it's never too late to come back to love, and you can always choose to do that at any time. Okay, whew, final lasting message for the collective. Okay, quote from one of my favourite spiritual teachers, Louise Hay. Are you going to focus? Okay, I'll leave that there just for you to have a little read of it if you'd like. And I will read it now. And it says, "All is well. Everything is working out for my highest good. Out of this situation, only good will come. I am safe." I feel like that really ties up what Spirit have really been trying to say. Like, you cannot always control the situation or what happens to you. Talked about this on this channel before, the E+R=O equation, which is event plus reaction equals outcome. The event you can't always control. We cannot control energy crisis. We cannot control what the government's doing, but we can control ourselves. We can speak up for ourselves. We can choose to still be happy. We can choose to put our voice and our power into things that will help, that can make change. We're not powerless. It can be easy to go into the darkness, but if we choose to focus our perspective on hope and belief rather than fear and lack, it's going to be so much better for us. If we choose to believe that all is well and everything is working out for our highest good, and out of the situation only good will come, then that is so much more of a more beneficial outlook and perspective than choosing to feed into the darkness, because feeding into it doesn't change it, it doesn't benefit us. Whereas at least if we choose to feed the positive, focus on joy, have fun, let loose, focus on creating love in our own lives, then at least that gives us hope and belief and more ability to move and to make change. So I feel that was deep. But I just feel like that needed to come. Like, there was just this reading that was just in me, and I feel like Spirit just wanted whoever stumbled across this to hear that. So again, most importantly, start creating fun in your life, start creating joy in your own life, control what you can control, and without knowing it, it will have a rippled effect. What do you need right now, and how can you meet your own needs? All right? Focus on feeling good, loving yourself, focus on moving into the energy of love, forgive yourself if you do go into the place of darkness. Look, with everything that's going on, it's easily done, but we can choose to come back to love. And I really hope you enjoyed this. I hope it's been able to help. If you have any spiritual questions or anything you'd like me to talk about spiritually, then please do leave it in the comments below, because I'd love to do, obviously I'm going to do, but I'd love to, know what you want me to talk about in terms of spirituality and well-being. If you'd like your own personal and private reading with me, you can book that over on my website, which is www.kirstilewis.com, and I'll leave that somewhere down below. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you soon for another video, lovelies. Check in with yourself, take care of yourself, love yourself, and I will see you soon. Bye.